Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I have some Insurgency Sandstorm tips for you guys. I know you've probably seen like 20 other videos on the internet that do the exact same thing, but maybe I could bring some new tips to you. You never know. And this might not be the last video, so if you guys have any more tips and tricks, leave them in the comments below and I might include them in a future follow-up video. Alright, so tip number 1. Snipers are good at anti-vehicle combat because they can easily remove the machine gunners mounted on the MGs, which are a priority number 1 threat in both PvP and co-op sometimes. Having a demolitions player, of course, is always good to alleviate the vehicle threat if they bring along an RPG or AT4 launcher, as well as grenade launchers. So if one of those demolitions players goes down, you still have the other one to take out the vehicle threat, that being the sniper. If all else fails though, try to get a smoke grenade in front of the machine gunner on that car. Then get in close with an incendiary grenade or Molotov and try to melt the enemies off of the car. It can take up to 2 of these grenades to blow the car up though, so be careful. Alright, tip number 2. You can duck inside the driver and passenger seats while inside of the vehicles to slightly reduce your visibility and hitbox, but do keep in mind though, you can still be easily killed by rounds tearing through the light armor of the vehicle. You can also pull out your sidearm and fire through the windshield as well as lean outside of the passenger window to do a drive-by style attack with your primary weapon drawn. Your vehicle is a juicy target, so always listen for enemy airstrikes, mortar fire, or RPGs. Sometimes it might be a little bit too late to hear the RPG coming, but you know what I mean. So unless you have to move your vehicle up to a new objective, it's always good to place it somewhere with a good line of sight on an enemy spawn location where visibility to the car itself is more limited. Lastly, if you're driving and you start taking extreme enemy fire, try turning the car towards the driver's side or simply to the left sharply, and then use the car itself as cover as you get out. As the driver, this leaves you less exposed than using your sidearm inside of the car and lets you use your long gun. The gunner has a shield, so unless they take a shot to their exposed head, they should be fine and they can provide covering fire. Anyone in this situation who is on the passenger side of the car will have their primary weapons out anyway, so they have a better shot of making it out, I guess? Still, it's a lot safer to do this than just to rush the car forward and die. Alright, tip number 3. Calling chopper support on top of your own position for some danger close fire support is a very good strategy if you're holding out inside of a building with solid cover for yourself and your team. The minigun-toting Black Hawk will take care of foot mobiles, and the AH-64 Apache will fight infantry and vehicles with missiles. Just keep in mind with enemy vehicles in play, the odds of your air support being shot out of the sky increase greatly. Tip number 4. Compensators, foregrips, and long barrels will greatly increase weapon stability and reduce scope sway, which comes in handy on a variety of weapons. Combine this with making it a habit to crouch before firing, and your aim will improve immensely. Just make sure that you start aiming at head level because the time to kill in Sandstorm is slightly longer, so headshots are more important now than ever. You can also auto-deploy bipods, which will even further reduce scope sway when crouched behind cover or when lying prone on the ground. You can go into your game options and turn off auto bipod deployment, and the key to place the bipod down manually will become G by default. This can help you not accidentally lose your firing angles because the gun is stuck on the bipod. And 5th and final tip, the supply caches work largely the same in Sandstorm as they did in Insurgency, but have some cool new additions. Destroying a cache can take 2 grenades, 1 IED, 1 Molotov or incendiary grenade, 1 RPG or AT4 shot, and 1 grenade launcher shot, or you can just plant the charge on the objective yourself manually, which takes some time by holding down the F key. If you can, always try to make room for 1 Molotov or incendiary grenade in your loadout. If everyone who can on your team brought one of these into each co-op match, the rounds would go by much quicker. You can lob these onto the caches from a safer distance, and if you're really good, you can toss them onto the objectives over houses. It takes much less time than planting and can be done safer than using a launcher if you're in close proximity of the cache site. The Molotov and incendiary can also have the hidden bonus of buying people time to run away from the cache if they decided not to move out of the way for you when you said you were throwing a nade onto the cache in the first place. Alright guys, and that's all I have right now for the tips on Insurgency Sandstorm. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any more tips, please let me know in the comments section below. I'll be sure to do a follow-up video in the future on this as some more tips come in. Again, thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the battlefields. Stay frosty out there.